Test, test. Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For today's stream, if you couldn't tell, me and my co-host Cody will not be on the screen today as we have a little mishap with some technical difficulties with the equipment, and we might sound a little different as we are in the studio behind the scenes right now using that microphone. Cody, how are we feeling about this Rivals match today?
I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just looking forward to a good match, and if I just want it to be a good match, man. That's what I hope for. If it's anything like the match I saw last night, we might be in for a good one here.
I heard it was pretty good from what you were saying. It sounded like a really good close overtime match, and honestly, I love a good overtime match. It's almost as good as a good clean sweep. I'm excited because we're starting to get into these games like Overwatch and Rivals. Some of these games I kind of know more about, so I kind of give a little more input on what characters' abilities are what, and what might the other. I don't know the techniques, but I know the characters per se and some of the maps.
Yeah.
Although it has been a while since I played Rivals. But
oh, trust me, a lot has happened.
I know. I'm not trying to give too much props to the other team, but I like Pimp Zaddy Lim's character there, Rocket. That's my main right there. I just be sitting on Groot's shoulder the entire time, pocket healing, man. That's all I would ever do.
That is so cool.
As Heidelberg versus Manchester today with here in Rivals, the way this is set up, I believe, is similar to Overwatch. So it'll be a best of 5, and depending on the game mode, I think both teams will get a chance will both get a turn being on the offensive side. And we'll just kind of see how today rolls, and hopefully we come away with a win here today. Really excited to see how this goes. Before we get into the match, ladies and gentlemen, Cody, even after eating, I'm still feeling a little hungry. You know what I could go for right now?
What?
Madison Street Tavern. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best places to eat, maybe the best place to eat in Tiffin, Ohio. Madison Street Tavern. Best best food in general, best service, and it's at a great price. Cody, you want to tell us a little bit about Level Up?
Of course I can, Noah, and I'm glad you brought this up. Level Up, I've mentioned it time and time again, and in my diluted state last night, I'm pretty sure I also mentioned it as well. Level Up is a place where you can get retro games, skateboards if you're interested, and also 3D printing as well. It is your place for any and all your needs. If you don't like one, well, you can get the other. Level Up is the place to be. And Noah, last night I was sitting there for a very long time, and one of the things I could have used while sitting there for that amount of time?
What was that, Cody?
I don't know.
Are you thinking when I'm thinking a good gaming? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, DX Racer, one of the best, not the best gaming chairs around. I've personally got to sit in one of those gaming chairs, and let me tell you what, I could fall asleep in one. That is one of the best gaming chairs, if not the best gaming chair I've ever sat in. And I think, like I've said before, a good gaming chair is what really determines a good performance as well. You want comfortability. So, looks like we have a little pause here. There must be some technical difficulties. Be right back here, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After that technical difficulty here, we are back. I believe this is a objective right here. Yep. Okay, so we have Heidelberg and the red here. I believe, Cody, do we know what that character is right there?
That is Emma Frost, which, from what I know, she has that shield that you see her using that she can deal damage from. And she's one of those people that can do some long range attacks. She can also go up close. She has a diamond form, which, from what I remember, was nerfed a bit a while ago. So she can't be in as long, but she can do some serious damage. And if you've seen some clips of Marvel Rivals, you'll see a lot of people, and I mean this, get mad at her. And I truly mean that, folks. You'll see what I'm talking about if she pulls that move. As we see a use of a Namor here. And, you know, I gotta say, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know about you, Noah, but I didn't know who Namor was until, like...
I was just about to say Aquaman. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know who that was.
Until, I'm gonna be honest with you, until... I kind of knew who he was, but I didn't know. Because he was the Submariner, I guess. I believe that's what he was called. And I didn't know who... I know, because I heard it, and I didn't know that was Namor. And then I saw, what is it, Wakanda Forever? And then I was like, oh, that's who that is.
Now we have Meme Lord on. Thank you, Cody, by the way. Now we have Meme Lord here on screen playing as Loki. And I want to say that's Keller playing as Groot right there. See, we're starting to push the objective here as Manchester has a good hold on it right now. 24%, 25% now.
Ooh, for some reference here, folks, Loki is a support in this game.
I honestly forgot that. I forgot that Loki's a support. I thought he was a... I thought he was a... what's the... It's not the support.
Duelist?
Not the tank. No, it's
Vanguard? Well, no, Vanguard.
No, the type of there's different because you got the support, and then you got the healers.
Healer.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. I was thinking the support. I was mistaken healer and support. That is my bad. This is my bad, ladies and gentlemen. As Keller here now playing as moving on to Thor here. Get a little Thor action.
Yeah, we'll get a bit of the tank here. They, from what I remember here from updates, Thor actually lost one of his hammers because he used to have 4 charges, but I believe he's able to do a lot more damage now because I think he was kind of
just giving them less
underpowered, I think, and now he's actually more powerful. I can speak from experience. I know the game has changed since I last played, but whenever I went against Thor after he got updated, it was pretty brutal. I won't lie. As we see Emma Frost here using her ultimate, which that is, if you get caught in that, it is very devastating. It is mind control to its finest. No matter who you are, you will get pulled in.
As Albarius now working around, I don't know, man. We're kind of looking. Maybe Heidelberg can get a little last-minute push here to kind of overtake the objective, or we'll just test our luck in OT. Hopefully, as we still have another chance at this particular objective.
There's 3 different.
Yep.
I forget. It's been so long, though. I forget it. There's like 3 different objectives. So if they win this next one, then we'll go into a 3rd one. I even forgot about that.
I wonder, I mean, it would be nice to see, as much as I love OT games, hoping for a sweep here.
See,
I'm hoping for a Heidelberg sweep, not a Manchester, a Heidelberg sweep here.
After last night, I don't know how big of a fan I am of OT. I'm not going to lie.
OT's good when you have a 4 o'clock game, but when you're sitting here at 8 o'clock and then you've got 8 o'clock classes in the morning tomorrow, it is not a fun time.
No, it is not.
As Keller now as the Hulk, trying to see, or no, not Keller, little sleep as the Hulk. Keller still has Thor. I want to say we have.
Hey, Cloak and Dagger.
Artix, is that Cloak and Dagger right there?
Yeah, that is Cloak and Dagger.
I'm still a little mixed up on my characters, and then Little Sleep changes to Groot actually. I would love to see a little Groot action here. I need to see some rockets so we can. I love a little rocket pocket heal on Groot. Only thing I ever did when playing Rivals was such an easy tactic. As we're heading in here, Heidelberg and Manchester fighting for this point right now.
As you see, a fierce battle for this point here, and Heidelberg needing to get this point after the last night. And we hear the legendary, meaning that the Star-Lord has activated his ultimate there, going for some heavy damage here. As we see our Namor putting in decent work. As he's getting some damage in. Respect to anyone who plays Namor, because I don't know, I've tried playing it, you have to have some good aim with Namor, because his stuff is like, you throw it, and then it takes a minute to come back, so respect, honestly. And then we see Blade here, which is technically one of the newer characters, which he has a pretty solid ulti. And you'll hear it if he gets a chance to use it here. As we see Meanwood as Oh, he's going for it. Will he use the ult though? We're about to find out.
Little sleep now as Groot must taking his time. Thor now back at objective. They must be waiting to push together as a team here, kind of getting some heals and regrouping. As now they push for this, you're going to take one big push here for this objective, hopefully to get it. You know, I'm surprised I haven't seen a lot of Iron Man action today. I feel like whenever I played, which was a while ago, I would see a lot of Iron Man. I feel like that's like the main all I would always hear.
I'm going to put my hand on my shoulder and tell you this.
They nerf him or something?
Not nerf him in particular, just flyers in general. They're not having a good time. Let's just say it's not a good idea to be a flyer.
Luckily, I was never a flyer when it came to this game, as Little Sleepy playing as my favorite character right now. I love to see a little Rocket action here. Rocket, you know, I always felt like he was
a dagger with the ultimate there.
I feel like with Rocket, you were always guaranteed a good amount of kills and a good amount of heals.
Oh yes, and the overload. Here we go.
One of my favorite abilities in the game.
Oh, I agree. You just get, like, as he said, just a lot of firepower. You can just unleash
especially if you need those last minute heals for like a good, if you're holding that objective and you just need to hold it for just a little bit longer. His ult is so good. Or if you need that one last push, as Heidelberg's pushing for this objective here with 5% left, can they get on the objective? And that'll be it for this round, as Manchester will take the win there for this round. But it's still a best out of 5. We have a lot to go, and you know, I don't know if we've ever hit Heidelberg's strengths yet. You know, we still have yet to, I feel, hit those strengths of game modes, because you know, as an Overwatch, that last game, you know, they were in they had their strengths for game modes and whatnot. As we will be right back, folks.
And welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. And after last match, we're getting into this one, and right now we are currently in a ban phase. And for those of you who haven't seen gameplay like this before, basically in any type of normal games, they don't have this. If some games have like an unranked mode, they might have like a practice ban phase. But in a ranked competitive for any type of game you play, especially these high competitive games, they will have a phase where there are certain characters they'll ban. So if there's a character who is currently meta, which basically means like is one of the best players you can play, and is basically like a cheap shot where you could just easily, that player would literally just grant you an easy win there, that's a player you want to get rid of immediately. Something that will cause you and your team problems. And right now the goal is to get rid of those people who could potentially cause you those problems and put the other team at a disadvantage here.
I really respect these collegiate/pro players for these games because you gotta maintain good knowledge of the game like constantly. Like if you don't know who's meta and who's not, like you could be getting cooked one game if you're not banning that one player. Like I can't remember who people were complaining about. Somebody I believe in Siege when I was never competitive, but I'd always play every now and then. And my friends would always be complaining about a certain character every now and then. They'd be like, the new meta player is this or whatnot. And they would just, they'd be like trying to ban them every round. And I didn't understand it until like now. Like you just gotta that's why I have so much respect is there's so much knowledge that you have to, especially with these games that are constantly being updated. Like you gotta keep the knowledge. Like you said with Thor. Thor lost a hammer charge up. Now but his attacks are more powerful, but that's one less chance you have to get something off, so you got to kind of use it a little bit more wisely now, even though you have more power. So just a lot of respect for these people that play these games, and keep a constant upkeep on the knowledge when it comes in. As we head into round 2 here, folks, if you are just now tuning in, Marvel Rivals, just like Overwatch, if you watch that stream or if you've seen a collegiate game of Overwatch, is a best of 5 matchup with each round being a different game mode. Excited to see how this one goes. Heidelberg taking a loss here, but like I said before, I think for us we have our game modes where we strive.
Okay, interesting. So
what do we see here, Cody?
3 DPS and 2 supports and 1 Vanguard. Okay.
I know
Interesting.
The Thing, right, and the rest of the Fantastic Four. They're kind of a newer bunch to the game, or at least last time I knew they were. I would say they're probably new. They're newish.
Newish, yeah.
Last time I played, they were. Like I don't know if I ever played when they were added into the game, but
they were being announced.
It was just right after I stopped playing. They were just getting brought into the game.
They're on the newish side. Fantastic Four, which is the Thing, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic.
Lil Sleep playing as Hulk, Alvarez playing as the Thing. I want to say Meme Lord's playing as what do they call him, Moonlight? Or
yes, the moon haunts you.
That's that. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, if there's one character that I have PTSD from, it's Moonlight. Because every time I play, I keep hearing that charge up haunts you.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Definitely one of those PTSD characters where you get that 1,000-yard stare once you hear it. As we're heading in here, Heidelberg, I believe this is the one of those. The other team gets their chance to with their vehicle, and they have to push it a certain distance or a certain percentage of the way through the map. I want to say, but I believe they have to take the objective first.
We're looking at Vesper K here playing as Hello. Oh, and something we forgot to mention here, folks. And I don't know how Overwatch's team system works. I know characters go together, but in Marvel Rivals, they gain special abilities whenever they're teamed up with other people. I don't know if Overwatch is like that. I don't know much about it, but they actually gain extra abilities. So there's an extra move they can have. Like I know Human Torch and Thing have an ability that I think like Human Torch can pick up Thing and he can like drop him. So stuff like that, or. I'm trying to remember now. This is an old. It's not in the game anymore, but a while ago when the game first came out, like Spider-Man and Venom played team up. I think Venom got like an extra swing, and Spider-Man got like a final finishing move where he just unleash a bunch of Venom and do like a lot of damage. So stuff like that, like little team ups that can actually help you make or break a game. So team composition here is really important.
I like that little mention there because I remember with me playing Rocket and my friends playing Groot, I believe that there was a little ability plus, not just besides, Rocket sent on your shoulder the entire time. I believe there was an ability when both were put together. I just can't remember what it was. As Lil Sleep almost at actually Lil Sleep and Meme Lord and Albarius, actually the entire Heidelberg team, almost to having their ults as we're kind of still early in the round here. We do need to get something off here. If we got to take this objective.
As we see Albarius here putting in the work as a tank should, going right in front of Mario, not fearing any damage, just knocking anyone out of his place. As we see this man hulking out right now.
Hulk just curb stomped that man. Gosh.
Yeah, that's a Hulk.
I haven't seen that ult in a minute.
Yes, I forget how brutal that is. It's like, have you ever seen the first Avengers movie? That's kind of what it is. What he does to Loki,
He's like, smacking him around.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of.
Heidelberg having to finish out. Can they get that last bar right there?
Oh.
As Hulk returns back to banner form.
As we're looking at Vesper Keegan playing as Silo. Ooh, unfortunately, getting...
As Keller now and the rest of the team working their way around. They have 40 seconds to get that last bar there and take the objective, and then they can start moving that vehicle around the map. They need to get a good percentage. They need to get a good chunk in at least. Would be kind of the way to go about it. I mean, obviously taking it all the way up to the end would be very ideal. But
disappear, yeah, here we go.
As
that's a good move right there, folks.
The team now. 3v2 on the.
See Little Sleep going for it, man. As you see,
and Artix is kind of holding his own right now. It's kind of getting a gang up on there right now.
Getting
Artix.
dicey, I could say, as they get
Hulk return back to banner, get a little heal there, but that'll be the end of this portion of the round for Heidelberg. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get 100% on the capture progress. I believe it's
kind of similar to Overwatch.
Is it you have to capture the objective then you push the vehicle, or is it just a capture?
It's more of like whoever holds it, like I believe for long, whoever gets like a longer thing. Yeah, it's similar to Overwatch in a sense. Yeah.
So unless Manchester goes along with a sweep in the first minute and they take the objective, we could be chilling here.
Yeah, if they had taken it like clear, if they got 100%, then that would have ended that. But they didn't get it fully, so Heidelberg still has a chance to actually win this if they can get that objective.
I definitely remember, playing in Marvel Rivals. That's why I got it mixed up. Is there's a lot of like Overwatch has like you got to capture the objective, and then you push the vehicle. So that's what kind of I was assuming. I believe that's what that is, because I believe that is the so-called vehicle right there as we.
So they need to hold it for a certain amount of time, and then they can. So you're not wrong. There are certain scenarios where you have to hold the objective for a bit, and then you can move the vehicle. So it's not instant. Some of them. Like you spawn. Maybe if I remember, maybe one of them. I think you spawn the vehicle, but for the most part, a good majority of matches, you have to capture some type of objective, and then you can move the vehicle. Similar situation here. As we see Archmix playing as Cloak and Dagger, and he's currently playing as Cloak with the swagger, man.
I've not seen that. I want to say the cosmetic for the cloak. Is that cloak, right?
That is cloak.
I have not seen that cosmetic at all. That is new to me. There's a lot of stuff in this game that I have not seen. As Heidelberg now holding that objective, trying to keep Manchester off of it, so we can hold them to below 72% for the entirety of the 4 minutes. We can win this.
See Meme Lord here playing as Moon Man.
The moon can haunt, man. It haunts me.
Same here, buddy.
As Keller and the rest of the team kind of pushing the way onto the objective now. Manchester already with a big amount of... Manchester already, makes their way and just gets to that 72% early on. Tough break as as round 2 was now done, I should say. As Manchester will win that one, and it'll be a 2-0 Manchester against Heidelberg. Be right back, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now into round 3 here in Marvel Rivals. For those just tuning in, it is a best out of 5 matchup currently with Manchester leading 2 and Heidelberg not having one on the board just yet, but I'm not counting us out just yet. You know, I think we just have to hit the right game modes for us. As we've seen in Overwatch, when we had that close matchup with, I believe, I want to say, was it Rio?
Yes.
I don't know if we ended up winning that one.
We did not, no.
But we had good glimmers of, I won't say hope, but just of like good gameplay from Heidelberg. As you know, we got into our own game modes, we got into our own like state of mind in those game modes, and we would take over. And I think that's what we just need to see right now to the Rivals team right now. Actually, a lot of the I think a lot of the skills from Overwatch translates over to Rivals, as we see like a lot of the Overwatch people also playing Rivals as well. If you like, I believe,
didn't realize that.
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen Vesper K on the Overwatch, but Meme Ward, Little Sleep.
Oh, that's right.
And
that's why their names look familiar. Okay.
I believe Albarias is also on the Overwatch team as well. So as I just believe like they both translate so well with each other.
I'm so glad you pointed that out, because when we first got into Stream Move and I was looking, I'm like, why are these usernames look so familiar? And then I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm like, I know I've seen their names before. So yeah, as you mentioned that translation. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
That just occurred to me now. Yeah.
As we're getting on to round 3 here, just want to see something, you know. As like we're kind of getting into these later rounds, or starting to get warmed up a little bit more. I think we'll start to see more and more good gameplay from the team. Not that we haven't seen good gameplay from Heidelberg at all. We've seen glimmers, but I'm hoping now that we're kind of a little bit more warmed up against this Manchester team, which is Manchester does have a really good esports team from what I hear. So you know, I think we put up a good fight. As it's kind of like the Val and Cleveland State game, you know.
Yeah.
That was just a rough matchup, and we just gave it our all and put it out there. And that's what I want to see from this Heidelberg team. If not, us take it away. You know, I think Manchester is a good team, but I think that they're definitely beatable.
Hold up.
Who do we have here? Do you see who we have? Who's playing what for the for our Heidelberg team here?
Well, we have Keller playing as the Thing here, who is a Vanguard. We have Vesper K playing as Psylocke, which is DPS. We have Alvarez playing
Jeff the Shark. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we have Meme Word playing as Blade. We have Little Sleep playing as Venom, and gonna butcher here. It's
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
for the last person?
Yeah.
Is Artix.
Artix as what I believe is Cloak and Dagger. Yeah.
I believe Artix has stayed true to Cloak and Dagger, as we've seen some of our players, like Little Sleep, I believe, was a tank last round, right? I think he was, I believe he was Hulk. You know, switching off to a healer there. This might be the way to go, though, for this round. I don't know. And everybody has their strengths. Mine was a healer. I was never a good tank or support. I was always I'm way better at healers. So, you know, everybody has their thing, and maybe that's where maybe we're just finding our groove, finding our rhythm. As I believe we have another objective round here.
And if I'm not mistaken, from what I could see, we have a pretty even split of Vanguard support and also DPS, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a good thing you like to see. You know, because some games you'll have where there'll be like 2 people as DPS, and there'll be like 1 support and like a Vanguard and stuff, which is all good. You can win matches. I've been in a match where it's just been like all healers, which honestly we didn't win, but we got super close. So you can have like funny matchups like that. But it's definitely good to have like an even split where you have an even amount of support, Vanguard, so you have everything. So I like that Heidelberg is going for that strategy here. Not trying to go like a bunch of DPS to try and get our damage. They're going for an even split, so we have all avenues covered. But we got to make sure with that advantage we have, we capitalize on it.
As we get into a pause here, don't know how long this will take. We'll be just right back here, folks.
And welcome back there. We are back from our technical difficulty here, folks, as we get into this round. Like I was talking about earlier, we have a pretty good team set up here, and that's what we like to see. And I think I've mentioned this in Overwatch as well. You know, we have to have a good team composition here. This is one of those games where, sure, you can go at it solo, but it's one of the games where you similar to Valorant, where it's best if you work as a team. Solo play can be done, but it's one of the type of games I believe that encourages you to play as a team because it is better, and there are abilities and moves and benefits, like I said, to playing as a team here.
As we have Vesper K on the screen here now, playing as Toby. I want to say that is Psylocke. Alrighty.
Yeah, and the skins are probably throwing me off. That's another thing too. Is that you'll see? Oh, was that an Iron Man?
We've seen a little bit of
Iron Man.
I was just talking about this earlier. We've finally seen a little bit of Iron Man action. I love to see a little bit of Iron Man action. Yeah. As Meme Lord is really, man, he just put a little two-piece show for us right there.
I will say this. I'll be honest with you. Iron Man's. I'll give you a little secret here. His stuff does like a lot of damage, but that beam you saw him use earlier, it is. I want to say it's very cheap. I utilize that a lot. If you can aim with that beam, you can deal a bunch of damage, especially if you're being backed up and healed. Oh my goodness, the damage you can do. I'm letting you, the viewers, know this as well. If you can use that, the splash damage from the closer cannons are good, but that beam, if you know how to aim your cursor well, no matter if you're on Xbox, you're on PC, doesn't matter. But if you can aim your cursor well with that beam, you can deal a lot of damage and get some serious damage.
Meme Lord chasing after, I want to say, one of Manchester's, I look like a Strange, but I'm not, no, it's Thor, my bad, as
Pulse. Dang, and he is out of there.
There's one of those 1,000-yard stairs that that we were talking about earlier, man. That's definitely one of the more powerful ults that when you hear that, you want to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where you can escape it, but if you're like engrossed in battle, you might just not be able to get out there. As we see Venom here.
Manchester with a good hold on the objective here. Heidelberg almost had a little shine of spotlight right there, taking over the objective there for a little bit, but I believe we're just going to let that one go and hopefully maybe not.
We're hitting overtime as we had one person on the objective, meaning that we actually get a chance to go into overtime, and Heidelberg needs to capitalize on this. We're at 45%. It is at overtime right now. If we can make a good push, as we see Meme Lord picking up a kill there, if he continue on this streak, we might actually be able to take this objective.
Meme Lord with another one.
But this is one of the situations where we need to stay on objective here. But
Heidelberg, unfortunately, unable to stay on the objective here. We are still into this, hopefully not the last round here. Moving forward, I want to see, just hopefully we stay together as a team and really push, because our biggest strengths in all of our games that we play is teamwork, just staying together like you were talking about before, staying together as a team and making that forward push together, because it's really hard to stop a team moving in unison and, working together in unison on one objective. As we have Little Sleep here close to his ultimate ability. Same with Vesper K. For folks who at home who don't know, the ultimate abilities are arguably your strongest depending on what it's for. I believe some of the healers have their ultimates or for just primarily like rockets. I believe it's just an ultimate, like it gives you boosts. A lot of the supports, theirs has to do with dealing more damage. A lot of the healers and a lot of the supports and tanks you'll see dealing more damage with their ultimates, and then healers will have a really like a boost to their to the team, whether it be health or damage dealt. As we're heading into this, hopefully not the final round here, but round 3, as Heidelberg makes a push for the objective here.
As Vesper K gets a bit of damage here. We're going with the Psylocke play here, trying to get some damage off here. As we also see, I believe Jeff over there. Oh!
Vesper K with
with the double kill there, with the triple there. That's some good play by Vesper K, and also good timing with the ultimate there, knowing when to use it, and with the quad. Good work by Vesper K there.
Vesper K is really putting in some work now, man. I like to see it. As Heidelberg now has control over the objective, the first time we've had initial control today. As we have Little Sleep playing as Venom here.
Oh, and he's crawling on the walls. Okay.
Just trying to get away. You know, it's hard to, even as a tank,
Oh, I
when you
forget
get
how
hit
much
with a
reach those
4v1.
tentacles have. Oh.
As Vesper K, another kill. Vesper K is putting on a clinic this round.
As we continue to take a look at Little Sleep, who is currently in the mix of battle here, doing his best not to get down. As we take a look at what I believe is Artrix, as Cloak and Dagger switches to the Swagger here, as he deals some much needed damage here, but does unfortunately go down, leaving us with one less healer. But we still have Alvarez as Jeff, hoping he doesn't perish. Oh, he used his ultimate there.
5-6 of the team having their ults ready. I mean, this could be really big for Heidelberg if they go all together and, you know, just make one big push. Especially, I think Venom's would be, from what I remember from this is pretty.
Oh yeah, this is
pretty devastating.
It can deal a decent amount of damage. So if Little Sleep times his ultimate correctly, and he gets a bunch of the team in a unwanted position, then it could definitely be devastating for the other team.
I get him not using it earlier on. He was kind of stuck in a 4v1 situation, but it was still kind of early in the match. You know, you kind of got to savor those ultimates because those come in clutch, especially now as.
Yeah, ultimates especially like this one.
Venom using this.
Situation. I wouldn't say it's not similar to Val in a sense, but Val, you get multiple opportunities to use it. But here, it takes a while to get your ultimate back, so you want to, if you want to use your ultimate, it has to be at either the end of the round or a situation where your team is in a bind, and it can lead to you getting into position to actually win the match.
I was going to say, unfortunately, with the big push there, Heidelberg unable to take over the objective. Cody, do you want to finish out what you were telling us there?
Yeah. As I was saying, it's very situational. Because you don't get your ultimate doesn't refill quickly, so you want to make sure you get the proper use out of it. Especially you don't want like a miss hit. Like if you're an Ironman and you hit your ultimate with like a maximum pulse, you don't want to miss. So if it's the saying, if you come for the king, you better not miss. You gotta, when you activate your ultimate, you gotta make sure you hit it. Even if it's one person, make sure that ultimate is worth it. As we hear a God of Thunder here, meaning that Thor is swinging it and hit it with that hammer.
Keller and Vesper really need to get to that objective right now. We could use those ultimates to really make this one big final push.
As we see Vesper keep going with the kills there. Vesper being consistent with his damage output. Gets sedated by the Mantis and goes down.
Making good use of that. But
gets hit with the Nakamoto there. Woo! As the thing gets taken down. But we see Little Sleep coming into action
Little Sleep back, but Thor knocks him off. Unfortunately, Heidelberg unable to make that big final push there as Manchester will win it for the night, going 3-0 against Heidelberg. We'll be right back, folks. Well, before we end it off here, folks, we would just like to thank you for watching today's stream and taking your time out of your day to just tune in and support the esports team. Before we go, let's give a last-minute shout-out for our sponsors, Madison Street Tavern. Great food, great service, great prices. Highly recommended if you're anywhere near or around Tiffin, or if you're just driving through. Highly recommend that you stop in and definitely stop and grab a bite, especially the chicken chunks. And if you go, tell them Heidelberg Esports sent you. Cody, do you want to tell us about Level Up?
Of course. Like I mentioned earlier, Level Up is the best place for you to find any retro games, or if you're not into retro games and you're more of an outdoorsy person, get a skateboard. They also offer that too. If you don't want any of that, well, if you're sitting in an office or your room, you might want to add something to your desk. You can also get some 3D printing done there as well. And we mentioned this time and time again, but we're here for a very long time. Sometimes it's short, like it wasn't this match here tonight, but other times it's not. And we gotta talk about our sponsor here, what I believe is G Racer, right?
DX Racer.
DX Racer, yes.
Like you were saying, what really makes or breaks a good time gaming, or just especially if you're shoutcasting, you're watching the stream, or you're just sitting down. If you're going to be sitting for a long time, you want a comfortable seat.
Correct.
DX Racer provides a comfortable seat for your gaming experiences or any other experience, really. Highly recommend that you test them. Really go, you get yourself one, but if you don't believe me, test it out for yourself. I've tested it. Tested them out personally myself, and I would like to say that they are some comfy chairs.
I can attest to that as well. No, they are really comfy.
Again, we would like to thank you guys for tuning into the stream and supporting our players here. I'm Noah Robinson,
And I'm Cody Smith.
and we will see you guys in the next stream tomorrow.